Missing. How did vital band equipment disappear from the band room?
Plus, honoring a giant history, a look at the life of General Colin Powell.
And, have a seat please, when you need a haircut, the best place to go is the Tiger Claw Barber Shop. Even the superintendent agrees. Your Tiger TV morning show starts right now. Good morning, and thanks for making Tiger TV Network your choice for news and information here at Middleton High. I'm Leif McCowie.
And I'm Sofia Miranda. We begin with breaking news, the search for missing cymbals.
They disappeared over the weekend from the band room. Reporter Alyssa Lentz is following the developments. Alyssa?
Good morning, Tigers. The search is on today for 3 sets of cymbals stolen from our band room. Our band director, Mr. Hubbard, and our principal, Mr. Body, explains how it happened.
Apparently on Monday, we had a game on Friday, and then on Monday we came in here and we're putting all of our stuff away, and the cymbals were gone. It's real shameful because we got to use them Friday night, and now my percussionists don't have cymbals to use. We don't have enough equipment for everybody. It's probably likely they came out my back door, so I'm not sure where they would have come in. I always keep my door open and try to let people come in here and play music, because the most important thing about music is the first element is trust. You got to trust that the kids got to trust that I'm going to try to teach as well as I can and expose them to music, and I got to trust that they're not going to come here and take something, because there's thousands and thousands of dollars of stuff in here, and I can't put chains on everything.
It makes my heart feel heavy, because if they're taken and somebody in Tigerland took them and somebody, a member, of my Tiger family took it, that's not a good thing. It's not a good feeling. So, I'm really hoping that that they were just misplaced. I'm really hoping that if someone borrowed them, that they're going to bring them back. I'm really hoping that any of those things manifest themselves, other than having to hope that, one of my Tigers actually took the cymbals.
We got to take care of our facilities. We got to take care of each other. And right now, whoever stole the cymbals messed it up for a whole lot of other kids.
There's a reward for the safe return of the cymbals. Tigers, if you have any information about this theft, you can remain anonymous and report it to any administrator, Mr. Hubbard, the band director, or our campus resource officer. I'm Alyssa Lentz. Now back to you at the studio.
Thanks, Alyssa. Again, if you have any information, don't be afraid to come forward. You can remain anonymous. In other news, this morning, major sports developments in the land of the Tigers. Several of our teams are taking part in district and regional competitions today. Leith is at Abe Brown Stadium with a preview of tonight's varsity football district matchup against Chamberlain. Leith?
In just a few hours, our Tigers will take to this field to play Chamberlain tonight. But it's not just any game, it's district championship. Joining me this morning are 2 key players on our varsity football team. I have here with me Nicholas Harstad and Tez Mitchell. Now, tell me, what does this game mean to you guys?
Now we can show other schools that our school is not to play with, you know what I'm saying? And help our players get to the next level.
That's good. And now, if this game goes in our favor, what's next?
We get a chance to go to the playoffs and be district champs. Show people that we ain't sorry.
That's good. And lastly, what was your favorite moment of this season?
Beating Blake and having to put on the show for our alumni and having them to give them joy and something to remember on longer day years.
All right, thank you very much, and back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Leith. Meanwhile, our Tiger swim team is in Clearwater this morning competing in the regional matchup. This comes after their second place finish last Friday at the district meet. Alyssa Lentz is back with us in Studio B with all the highlights. Alyssa?
Good morning, Tigers. The swim season is almost over, with our swimming Tigers diving off with a bang. Our last meet was on October 14th against East Bay High School. The boys won first place, and the girls came in second with only a few points behind. Last Friday was districts, which is where all of the schools in the district swim against each other. Our swimming Tigers did not disappoint, coming in second place for both boys and girls. At this time, we have a total of 12 Tigers representing Middleton at regionals. We hope they can all do swimmingly in their performances and make it to states. Now I'm going to toss to Parker Brew, who will be talking about boys basketball.
Hi, I'm Parker Brew reporting live from the studio. I'm here today with Coach Johnny Grant, who will brief us on the upcoming varsity basketball season. Thanks for meeting with us today, Mr. Grant. So my first question is, where will the team practice this year?
This year, got word because of the floor renovations, we'll be practicing over at Young Middle Magnet over on Martin Luther King Boulevard. So just about a mile away from the school.
Okay, and can interested players still try out?
Yes, tryouts haven't begun yet. They'll actually start November 1st, and they'll go through November 3rd. We're actually this year going to do a little something different. We're going to have 2 cut periods throughout tryouts. So, anybody that's still interested in playing, you haven't missed it, November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd from 5:15 to 7:30. Meet us over at Young Middle School.
Okay, and have any returning players, returned? And how does the year's lineup look altogether thus far?
I got about 5 players remain. No, 7. Make that 7 players returning from last season. All 5 starters returning. So we'll have a pretty seasoned team. So that leaves probably about, I would say, 6 or 7 spots open for guys who want to come out and try out.
Okay, and how do you think the season will go overall?
I think we'll be very competitive this year. Like I said, we got 7 returning guys. They're all seniors, 1 junior. So, it's a pretty seasoned team. They've been playing together all spring and throughout the summer. So we're looking to have a pretty decent season this season.
Okay, and my final question, and I know you've already touched on this, how will the upcoming gym renovations affect the season?
The gym renovations will definitely affect practices, which is why we'll have to go over to Young. I'm being told that it's going to affect maybe the first and second home game as well. But, my motto has always been, we got to roll with the punches. So whatever comes our way, we got to be ready for it. So even if that home game is not at Middleton, if it's at Young, or if we have to play it at, the other school's gym, our job is to just be prepared and ready to go. So either way, the guys are going to be ready to go over and try to get a victory.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Remember, the first game is a home game against Freedom on November 30th. I'm Parker Brew with Tiger TV News Network. Now back to Studio A.
Thanks, Parker. Basketball is not the only tryouts taking place next week. Our sports cover continues with reporters Alexia Bolden and Masapi Balaji on soccer.
My name is Alexia Bolden, and joining me today is Middleton's boys soccer coach, Coach De Silva. Okay.
Hello.
Coach De Silva, what are tryouts?
Tryouts actually started this week. We're actually going to continue tryouts into next week. We should have the team sort of finalized by next Wednesday. This team is really competitive, and so I encourage a lot of the guys to actually join a rec team or a travel team over the summer, so that way they can improve their skills. For the soccer play, they have to be disciplined, hardworking. They have to have the right attitude. I think that that's really important. And they got to stay on their grades, because no matter how good of a soccer player they are, if they don't have grades, they can't stay on the team. So I think that those things are really important. As for this season, will be for us to go and improve our record from last year. We were 6-5-2 before we made the playoffs. So I'm looking for us to go 7-4. From the things that I'm seeing, I'd like to just run the table.
Good morning, Middleton Tigers. My name is Masapi Balaji, and we're here on the soccer field. Joining me today is Middleton's very own girls soccer coach, Coach Mays. Hey. So, Coach Mays, what are your goals for this season?
I'm hoping that everybody will come out and end up having a great time, learn new skills, and just be successful as well as we can be for the new season.
All right, and my next question is, how can people prepare themselves for the tryout?
Definitely conditioning. So we always want to try to get conditioning going before the season starts so that they're in shape, so that we can start focusing on the skills that we're doing on the field, rather than having to get in shape while we're doing the different activities.
And what makes a good soccer player in your eyes?
Mentality, their attitude. If you don't have a good attitude, you're going to be less likely to be successful. But if you come out with a positive attitude, you're more likely to be able to learn the different skills and be a positive role model on the field.
All right. And my last question is, what are some things you have learned from past seasons that you want to implement this season?
I've learned that every person is different and you have to meet them at where they're at in order to make it so that they can be successful. If you're just trying to teach your own way, the athletes aren't going to be more as receptive and they're not going to be able to grow. So if you meet them at their level, it gives room for growth rather than just kind of staying stagnant.
All right. Well, there you have it, Tigers. I want to thank you for joining me today. Keep in mind of these soccer tryouts. Until next time, I'm Masapi Balaji. Now back to you in Studio B.
Thanks, Masapi, and all of our reporters, including you, Lentz, for the complete sports wrap-up.
My pleasure, and as always, we extend the best to all of our Tigers who are in competition. In other news, the death of a trailblazer. Tiger TV's Devin Schumacher has the story of General Colin Powell and how his legacy impacts our country and the world. Devin?
On October 18th, the country faced the unexpected announcement of the death of Colin Powell. His untimely death at the age of 84 was due to COVID, as he was immunocompromised from his previous fights with cancer. If you have never heard of Powell, he was a highly accomplished general who took combat in Vietnam, and he served as the first Black U.S. Secretary of State. Aside from setting many milestones in politics, he helped shape American foreign policy over the past 20 years. Here's one of his most notable interviews where he describes the rules of leadership.
And those are the ones he printed. And people have asked, well, which of these 13 rules are the most important? I said, the first and the last, number 1 and number 13. Number 1 says, it isn't as bad as you think. It'll be better in the morning. It may not be better in the morning. It's not a prediction. It's an attitude to go to bed with that says, no matter what happened today, we're going to be better tomorrow. We're going to fix it tomorrow. And the 13th rule is a derivative from a military saying, and that is that force multipliers are things you do to make your force more effective, and to make yourself more effective, and to make your organization more effective. Perpetual optimism. Always think things are going to get better, no matter how bad things may seem at the moment. And I think that's an attitude for young people.
As seen in this video, Colin Powell was an honorable man as he served this country, leaving many contributions along the way. To find out more about his lasting impact, Tomesha Woods talked with our very own JROTC instructor, Major Mike Mistretta.
This is Tomesha Woods, and I'm from Tiger TV Network, and I'm here with
Major Mistretta from Air Force Junior ROTC.
And we are here to ask you some questions about the death of Colin Powell. First question is, how do you think Colin Powell's death will impact national security today?
Well, I want to talk a little bit about Colin Powell, and I'm going to get to that question. If I had to teach the story or the history of Colin Powell, I would mention that he was a great American, and he is really the living legend of the American dream. Comes from the Bronx, wasn't a good high school student, got into college somehow, and went into Army ROTC and found that he liked it there. He liked the structure, he liked the discipline, and they liked him. So I'm going to accelerate and just say he was a trailblazer. His legacy, he was the first Jamaican immigrant, first black Secretary of State, first black Joint Chief of Joint Chief. He had 2 tours in Vietnam. He totally had his soldier credibility. He.
It's the last question. So Colin Powell has also shaped the national security, but how do you think he has shaped the world, like the U.S., the most?
I think he was a good example of what you can do when you work hard. And to me, his legacy is really squeaky clean. He made, some people could criticize him for the Gulf War, and this was before you guys were born. I was on active duty at that time, and I remember he went to the United Nations and he presented some data that was not correct. I believe he was set up by the people around him. The Vice President, Secretary of Defense, kind of used him. And he was such, one of his principles is he was such a faithful, loyal follower. And he achieved the highest positions in his career field by being an excellent, supportive person. And I think they took advantage of him. And it's unfortunate because later on he realized that. And he kind of, first he admitted it, which shows a lot of credentials on his part by admitting it. And I think his legacy is a trailblazer for people who want to work hard and achieve.
Well, that's all the questions I have for you today. Thank you
for your time. All right, thank you. All right.
I'm Tomesha Woods, now back to you.
Thank you, Tomesha. From his various impacts in politics to his leading legacy in America, Colin Powell will be greatly missed. His private memorial will take place Friday, November 5th at the Washington National Cathedral. I'm Devin Schumacher, back to you in Studio A.
Thanks, Devin. Here in the land of the Tigers, the superintendent of schools stopped by for a haircut.
It appears even Addison Davis knows the best place to get a cut is at the Tiger Claw Barbershop in the 300 building room 306. Davis stopped by Thursday morning to get tight and right by experienced Middleton barber Shadi Al-Rafai.
It's awesome. I mean, you know what? There's a heart. Every learner has a passion. So, you know, when you look at whether it's barbering, you look at cosmetology, it's an opportunity for a learner to be able to have short-term, long-term goals. So it's great. We'll continue to offer because we have students that are actively engaged. I walked in this classroom today, all hands are on deck. Kids are actively involved, and you know what? You see happiness in here. So anytime that we can create that, and the next step for us is just showing it and tying it to entrepreneurship, to be able to have your own business and to give everyone a sense of hope where it can happen. So.
The Tiger Claw Barber Shop is open to both students and teachers. Simply stop by to make an appointment. And for students who are interested in learning the craft, all you have to do is make it one of your electives, next semester or next school year. For more information, see our barbering teacher, Miss Stephanie Grooms, in room 306.
Finally, this morning, just in time for the Halloween weekend, a preview of the new movie Venom 2.
Here's Tiger TV's Azalea Jones.
Good morning. Just in time for Halloween, Venom 2 has recently been released. The movie is now in theaters. Here's a look at the trailer.
All I ever wanted in this world is carnage.
Eddie, we should be out there snacking on bad guys. I am a predator. I need to be free.
You have got to get control of your aggression, or you will get hauled off into Area 51.
Tiger TV's Wesley Smith got a chance to view the film. He joins us this morning with his take. What is the most interesting part of the movie in your opinion?
Towards the end, because it had an unexpected twist.
Who was your favorite character?
My favorite character was Venom because he's actually really funny.
What would you rate this movie and why?
I rate this movie at 8 out of 10 because it was action-packed, but there was a few downsides. But I won't go into that. I'll let the viewers make their own opinion.
Thanks, Wesley, for your feedback. Again, Venom 2 is in theaters now. If you have no big Halloween plans this weekend, consider checking it out. I'm Azalea Jones, now back to you in the studio.
That's our show for today. I'm Sofia Miranda.
And I'm Leif McCowie. Join us again next week, same time, same day, same location.
Until then, make it a great rest of the day in the land of the Tigers.
And have a great weekend.